how do you run an empire on scattered receipts? Seriously, it's a powerful question, isn't it? I mean, imagine trying to manage moving inventory, track your daily sales across multiple different locations, chase down debtors, and oversee the entire daily operation using absolutely nothing but a stack of paper notebooks and manual records. That is the intense, completely overwhelming reality that this source material plunges us into from the very first frame.
And that brings us to Section 1, the chaos of manual operations. To convey all this chaos, the brief establishes a very specific visual mood. It calls for stressful, dark lighting and a shallow depth of field to really create this sense of claustrophobia. It's ultra-realistic storytelling. To ground this anxiety, the setting demands a truly authentic Nigerian atmosphere. Specifically, we're focusing on the bustling, high-energy realities of the Abuja and Lagos markets. We are talking about severe, visceral pain points here. Phones are ringing off the hook simultaneously. Inventory is mysteriously going missing right off the shelves. And the inevitable result of all that? Angry, frustrated customers waiting for answers that the owner simply does not have. Let's actually break down that manual operational friction point by point, because it's rough. We see scattered receipts acting as literally the only proof of vital transactions. We've got exhausted staff running totally ragged, just trying to keep up with demand. There's this massive warehouse confusion where nobody actually knows what's in stock. And honestly, perhaps the most painful part of all, those late-night calculations. Just imagine the owner sitting there in that dark lighting, crunching numbers by hand long after the store is closed, just trying to make the math work.
But the story doesn't stay in the dark. Let's shift to Section 2, Discovering the Digital Solution.
Here, the narrative tone of the brief actually shifts. It moves from that tense, chaotic energy to something much more calm and authoritative. Let's walk through this transformational narrative arc. Step 1 is, of course, that manual struggle we just talked about. But Step 2 is the crucial turning point. And what's interesting is that the catalyst for change isn't some massive corporate overhaul. It's simply a proactive staff member introducing the owner to a smartphone app. That leads directly into Step 3, making the actual decision to digitize operations. And that unlocks Step 4, the ability to actually scale the business using real analytics instead of just pure guesswork.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core contrast of the entire source brief. We go from the before, the exhausted staff, the missing inventory, and that stressful late-night math in the shadows, to an incredible after. Suddenly we have smooth operations, low stock alerts pinging automatically, and crystal clear business analytics. Visually, the brief demands an evolution from that stressful dark lighting we saw earlier into bright, organized, cinematic scenes. It perfectly visually mirrors the feeling of a heavy weight just being lifted right off the owner's shoulders.
Which leads right into Section 3, Key Features of DigiShopper.
It's honestly kind of funny to think that prior to this, a multi-branch business empire was essentially being held together by spiral-bound notebooks and sheer willpower. But now we get to dive into the robust mechanics of Clarity that replace those worn-out pages. We've got real-time inventory tracking. There's multi-branch management so you can oversee Lagos and Abuja at the exact same time. We've got sales and payment tracking and credit or debtor management, which, by the way, is absolutely huge for maintaining cash flow. Plus, it includes barcode scanning for speed, service appointments for service-based models, and finally, business analytics and forecasting. This entire suite serves as the ultimate comprehensive solution to that initial chaos.
To bring those specific features to life, the brief specifies a highly premium visual approach. Think of a Netflix documentary style blended with a high-end commercial. It utilizes these really slick dashboard UI animations to show what's driving the smooth operations. The viewer is meant to see fast checkouts at the register, meticulously organized deliveries heading out the door, and real-time low stock alerts popping up on screen. It's visually proving that the digital system is doing all the heavy lifting in the background.
Let's move to Section 4, Empowering Every Business Type.
Now, it's one thing to see an app work for a single shop, right? But this digital transformation is designed to be universally applicable. The source material specifically highlights a highly diverse range of successful cross-industry applications, whether it's a high-end fashion store tracking seasonal trends, an electronics shop dealing with serialized inventory, a pharmacy managing strict expiration dates, a high-volume supermarket, or even a service-based business scheduling client appointments. The brief explicitly shows every single one of them thriving under the exact same organized digital ecosystem.
Which brings us to Section 5, the clarity of digital growth.
So we've gone through the severe pain of the problem and the detailed mechanics of the solution. Now, consider this core takeaway. Transition from chaos to clarity. Why does this matter so much for your understanding of business operations? Well, because scaling any business is fundamentally impossible without operational visibility. You simply cannot grow what you cannot see or measure. That is exactly the emotional and transformational journey that this 5 to 7 minute video brief is engineered to capture.
The brief culminates in a beautiful, highly specific visual sequence. Imagine a final 16:9 cinematic shot utilizing incredibly smooth camera movements. Instead of the stressed-out, overwhelmed owner we met in the dark at the very beginning, we now see a businessman confidently managing his operations. Customers and staff are moving smoothly and happily around him. The system is working perfectly. The environment is bright. The chaos has been entirely replaced by harmony.
So, as we wrap up our analysis of this really fantastic source material, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. If clarity is just a smartphone away, what's keeping your operations in the dark? It's a challenge to examine your own systems, your own notebooks, and those late-night calculations. I really hope this explainer has sparked your curiosity and left you eager to learn a bit more about the mechanics of digital transformation. Until next time, keep learning and keep seeking clarity.